All right, I want to take us into our next story, George, and this comes from America Magazine. America Magazine is actually a Catholic Jesuit publication, but it highlighted an important and concerning trend, and it details stories of Catholic Charities staff facing a rising tide of harassment accused by political figures and potential other media outlets of aiding illegal immigration, despite their mission to help migrants post Customs and Border Patrol processing. So Catholic Charities is a actually really big organization. It's somewhat decentralized, but is really integral and a key part of the refugee and migrant resettlement kind of apparatus in the United States. Both Catholic Charities and other religious affiliated nonprofits, as well as secular nonprofits. But staff have gotten direct threats, and it seems to be increasing of late as the issue of immigration and migrants have been demagogued in the media and by politicians. The organization says it's standing firm on its humanitarian grounds, underscoring a commitment to serving those in need, reflecting the core values, and providing dignity to people seeking it in times of adversity. But George, this is, I think, a concerning trend. We've seen certain trends of violence towards nonprofit organizations providing various service, in this case, services to migrants. We've also talked about violence towards, for example, abortion clinics and other type social services. So what do you make of this story?
It's interesting. Whole Whale has, as you mentioned, Whole Whale has had experience working with organizations that are under threat, have to hide their location, have to be extremely careful with the types of public backlash that they receive, specifically around women's rights. It's interesting now to see something as venerable as Catholic Charities, at least, on the right generally, traditionally, and an organization of this size. This is the 13th largest U.S. charity, roughly revenues around $4.7 billion against total expenses $4.5 billion. And so to see some of the the level of threats and the level of vitriol simply because they are serving their mission, which, by the way, if you pick up a Bible, is pretty sound in terms of helping those in need when they're in need and where they're in need. And now you can see some of the overflow of vitriol associated with probably a political cycle that is revving up against immigration. And I think they're doing the right type of work for this audience for the right reason. And it's just interesting to see it extending, right? It's not just left or right. It is anytime you come up against some charged base, unfortunately, like the level of threats seem kind of scary actually for the staff working on the front lines there. And, I don't think that's what people really think when they sign up to help a nonprofit, to volunteer, to provide aid, to give food to folks that need it. So I like that they're being hopefully more and more vocal. Like, I had to dig for this article to find it, but it's something that I think we're watching for. The political sentiment and against nonprofits serving people is a little bit under attack here.
Yeah, George, I think that's exactly true.